What qualifies as bad sex? When one person isn't really active, just lying there, minimal movement. Starfish. Use the reverse starfish defense. Get in. Spread your limbs out. Look her in the eye. Don't move for 30 seconds and then ask, is it good for you, baby? Apostrophe. When you don't get off and your partner didn't even try to get you off, so you go to Taco Bell afterwards as your treat to yourself. My early 20s were filled with late night stops to Taco Bell, especially when they are super selfish, rush to get themselves off, and the whole unsatisfying encounter was nothing more than a 4-minute delay to your late night Taco Bell run. Reflecting on it, I was eating my emotions. Pain. No happy ending. Pushing rope. Pushing rope, when you go a bit soft. When there is zero attraction and you just want to get laid. Happened to me, except it was one way. Ended up laying there with his suddenly horrified face when he couldn't get it up, both sober, and then said, "You're way too attractive." So we stood up still naked, and then he wanted to hug it out. I grabbed my clothes and hightailed it out of there. Had a great friendship with him after that. Actually, that lasted years. Never tried to have sex again though. This is taking the friend zone to a whole new level. Neglecting the standard high five afterwards. I rolled off her, sweating like a new pig and panting like an old one. The strange choice of material her sheets were made of was clinging to my back and arms, but I didn't want to spoil my sense of pride and accomplishment by wondering how anyone in their right mind can possibly sleep in just clingy sheets. I expressed some sort of light-hearted sigh, a giddy little exhale in this moment of bliss. It was something a man like me should stop and appreciate before the gross feeling of my dick throbbing wearily in a cement swimming pool that was my condom. My trusty condom had held up its end of the bargain once again, and I just hope my salute to his service wouldn't be taken as sarcastic. Before I flushed him down this lady's toilet, will her plumbing take it? Well, her flesh plumbing did already, so the odds were in my favor. Coughing once because exertion of this kind does that to a guy like me. I leaned over with my hand in the air, a post-coital high five. Just a little something. A pop of the cork. Toasting our job well done. I steadied my breath to keep my hand from shaking. I didn't want to look like some kinda milksop now. It just hung there. Her oscillating fan was the only one eager to get in on the action. Did that fan know those blows were a mocking laughter? An unclapped fiver is something I take very personally. I shook my hand a bit and gave her the older hem. Still nothing. She just wallowed there in her wet spot, a puddle of effort. The glaze of the ham, my buddy calls it, though it hardly smells so sweet. Her face was all scrunched up, eyes vacuous and fixed to the ceiling. There was a ceiling fan at some point, but I guess someone took down, because there was just a hole there. It's just a little something observant fellows like me tend to notice when looking at ceilings. Just like in my online detective novellas. I dropped my hand on her floppy yam with an attention-grabbing little slap, like a pat of the last slice of ham on a sandwich before the mustard comes, and come the mustard did. If you catch my drips. I raised my hand back up more erect than my penis had ever been. Ha ha. Come on lady, we just clapped flaps for almost 8 minutes. And you're not gonna give your guy a little something? No. She wasn't a sex doll, if you're trying to catch the twist here. No. She just did not high five me. I was hurt. More than I admitted myself at the time. I've ruminated on this incident quite a bit since then. Long time ago. 2005. Last time I gave a proper porking. I'm man enough, or at least sensitive enough, to really be quite offended by something long after it happened. I couldn't drop it, though, so I high-fived hurt it again, slapping it like a Newtonian fluid from those cool gifs I'm obsessed with. I've got like 3 saved on my phone. Those dog-damned cheats still stuck to me like Velcro, or hook and loop to avoid the branding. And with every small movement or adjustment, my irritation climbed higher and higher. I tapped her tatty again. Jim, this high five. I shouted and managed to keep my voice from cracking, which was something that made me proud considering how much squealing and moaning I was doing just 8 minutes early during the coitus. I really let rip Beyblade style on her Vinegar pie. I wanted this session to end the right way. A simple high five and blammo. I get dressed and walk on out that door to a new life. By that point, my sagging, deflating penis was gasping for breath. I felt the too tight hold of that borrowed condom. Yeah, I said it was mine earlier, but the truth, I lied. I had found it in a bookstore a few weeks prior. Start to lose. If I were to lose that condom, golly, that would have just made me look like a real milksop. I begged her for the high five. I literally begged, my arm shaking from the isometric exercise of holding in position so long. Yeah, I was crying. That's normal after too fast too slow sloppy slap sesh. You wouldn't know, because you're a virgin. It's normal to cry, because of the brain chemicals. Imploring one last time. My condom sliding off indignantly. I brought my sweat palm down on her boob one last time. She simply did one of those mouth farts, rolled over, and turned off the light on her nightstand. She was asleep within moments, and her loud snores were cruel guffaws. I didn't sleep that night. I only sat upright against her headboard with my hand raised, flummoxed in the red glow of her digital alarm clock. Not everyone can afford one of those. Yeah, no. When morning hit, I figured the high five was just not gonna happen. I lowered my arm with a sickening creak and shoved on my undies and pants. Was the condom still clinging to my crusty wand dangler like those stupid sheets? Hell if I know. But in my memory of the incident, yeah, that's exactly what happened. That kinda ruined sex for me for the next few, all the way until now. Would I be able to get a boner now if she had just reciprocated that high five all those years ago? I'd like to think so. I'm saving this shit. Yes, I agree starfish is not good, but being jackhammered sucks worse. It's painful and just not fun. That really depends on the woman and the mood/arousal. Maybe not continuous for 5 minutes or something, but in my limited experience, some jackhammering is definitely appreciated. Seems like a dude comment. It's not a simple pass/fail test, but too much of the following makes for a rather frustrating time. Either party, lack of attention to signals, failure to signal, poor hygiene, attempting a risky/some like it some don't act like ass play without prior knowledge of partner's limits, male, no attention to foreplay. You can get away with this sometimes on quickies and the like, but most women generally prefer some foreplay, close bracket. No attention to whether she wants it faster or slower, harder or gentler, etc. Neglecting the clit. No attempt to make it last a decent time. Racing to the finish or, conversely, focusing too much on duration at the cost of quality/passion. Other problems may include too hard an ass slap or breast clutch, but that varies tremendously with the woman in question. Female. Too rough or too timid with use of mouth and hands on cock. Token blowjob, you think you're going to reach some level of satisfaction, but she moves on before you get close. Dead fish syndrome. Not always the worst, but most guys don't like this to be the norm. Close bracket. The above list excludes BDSM scenes, since a lot of the above might be part of the specific scene depending on the couple. This is something everyone could learn from. Good tips. Just the tips. Religious girls that get caught up in the moment then think they are going to hell afterwards. Religious shame is the worst to have to deal with. Trying to convince someone they aren't doomed to eternal damnation is no easy task. I grew up with propaganda and religion. People who have not lived through it have no idea what society can do to a brain. All these big ideology are evil. Being an individuals, even if we are incorrect, is better. When the home is don't say no homo afterward. I thought you were supposed to say no homo before. You know, like a prayer to bless the union. Before and after is most common. Half the time the homies are just too horny. When the other person is only in it for themselves. When there's no passion. Having sex with energy and having fun makes it good sex. Bruh. So, I have a high sex drive. This is not a knock. I've never met a woman who could fully keep up with how often I wanna have sex. Probably a great thing for productivity, but I digress. My ex was a dead warm body in bed. Quite literally expected me to do all the work. It is the ducking worth to one's self-confidence, their drive to be sexy for said other person, and the amount of effort you as a human being are willing to afford your partner in bed. As a high sex drive individual, This killed me more than any other emotional abuse suffered at her hands. Honestly, she reacted the same as any woman I have been with in life, favorably. That didn't wreck my confidence in bed. It was the fact that she never wanted to have fun with sex and let go of her perceived shame. Stupid way to be in bed when someone is making it very clear that they think you're a ducking goddess in bed. Juxtapose above with my current relationship. I say she has a magical pussy all the time. Just simply because she moves and has fun with it. Even if you think you're a pile of garbage in beds, the littlest gestures can change the experience of the bedroom so ducking much. It's honestly absurd. 100% this. There is absolutely no way I would ever go back to what I had before, now that I have had the best sex on planet Earth for the last year. Whiskey dick, wherein his penis refuses to become fully erect, and his ability to orgasm becomes greatly diminished. This often leads to him pumping away long after I'm finished in a desperate attempt to come. I believe this is pushing rope. Not matching each other's rhythm. Sure, there are different strokes for different folks, but if your strokes and their strokes don't match, or neither is willing to make it match, you're gonna have an awkward time. When one party involved says things about your body/performance that screws up your head and makes it impossible to think about being intimate with anyone 4 years after. Bonus points when it's your first time. I'm sorry they were unkind to you. I hope you're doing better now. I'm still messed up, but thanks. When she doesn't do any of the things she said she was going to do and the 3 days worth of texting leading up to it. I was told you were going to suck my dick, like you're mad at it, and that I would be invited to come in through the back door. See? It says so right here in the text. Meanwhile we are playing Scrabble fully clothed. That's some weird foreplay. Honestly, when it feels like an audition, you get the starfish treatment and a show me what you can do attitude. It's kinda like when you're hooping and someone says let him shoot, and you stand there ball in hand feeling the pressure of everybody watching you. You're a comedian? Say something funny. Apostrophe. Hey man, I'm trying my best up here. A calloused hand and a lotion that burns. A lover for me. My heart still yearns. But let it be said, so that it is known. I have sex every night, when I'm alone. That was fantastic. When I tell them exactly what I want, and they do something completely different because it worked in the porn video. I've been saving this move just for you babe. Smacks cock on vagina. The worst one was when he fingered me by scraping his fingernails down my vagina. All because it worked in a porn video he watched. That was an instant mood killer. When no matter how hot the water is, or how hard you scrub you can't get the shame off. What was that one meme about Listerine washing away the shame? Use the brown Listerine. No foreplay at all. Even as an inexperienced soul I know that foreplay is almost essential to having good sex. I tried watching an educational video about foreplay, but got bored and skipped the first part. Lack of foreplay. Drying up and he's still going for it. When they don't listen. When you finish, but then the other takes forever. When the pimp looks at you all judgmental. That's kinda what you get for having sex with a pimp mayo. I had a lady who jumped around like she was being electrocuted. I can hit a moving target, but does it have to move so far and fast? When your partner turns you off to the point that you just don't want to be there anymore, right when you were about to orgasm. What did they do to achieve that? When it results in kids. 100%. When consent isn't clear. When someone is pushy. When someone orgasms then rolls over and sleeps without helping their partner climax. So many things. When it lacks respect and or consent. Does this include if I don't respect myself? Yep. Anything both people don't enjoy. Dick get broke. Hate it when that happens. Do they know how much these things cost? Question mark? Question mark? In the US, it will cost you a lot. Some males doing what they learned watching porn. Violently attacking the female genitalia and thinking that's enough. Surprise, it isn't. I'm a even bad pizza is still pizza kinda guy, but after the first round my hookup started slut shaming me while we were laying in bed. Noped out of there before the second round. When you didn't want it. Poor hygiene. Not coming. I'm a dude and I've had plenty of good sex without finishing. Granted, every time it happened was because we already ducked a few times that day and I knew it was never gonna happen again. But sometimes you gotta give the lady what she wants. Even when there's nothing in it for you. Gotta keep her satisfied. When it comes to straight ducking I want an insane amount of passion. And I love when a guy can go for multiple rounds. Limp dick. Have you tried squishing the balls so the penis fills with air? You have to stick your thumb in your mouth and blow for that to work. When one or more people involved don't have fun. When she's riding you and it slips out mid-bounce and lands on it wrong breaking your dick. When not everyone involved enjoys it. End of. Complacent sex. Do the thing because you want to do it, not because the other person likes it, and so you go along. Better to politely decline, and then you can move on to something you both enjoy. Bad smell is top 1. So bad smell for bottoms only. Huh. If I'm paying for the taxi. Okay, so I dated this guy who it would take him forever to finish. Sounds like a superpower. No, it isn't. Because we're talking hours. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I'd get so exhausted and I'd feel so inferior because I couldn't get him to finish. It was horrible. We didn't last that long. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.